The vast emptiness of space held many secrets, but none quite like the ancient warship that drifted through the Andromeda sector. G1 Park, a human mechanic with calloused hands and determined eyes, stood before the massive vessel. While advanced civilizations dismissed it as worthless scrap, she saw potential where others saw ruin. Against all advice, she purchased the derelict for barely the price of its metal. The docking bay of Starbase 7 buzzed with activity as Ji-1 signed the final transfer papers. Alien merchants and traders shot her pitying looks, whispering among themselves about the foolish human who had just wasted her life savings on space junk. The ship loomed behind her, its dark hull stretching nearly half a kilometer in length. Despite the scoring marks and battle damage, its sleek design spoke of an advanced civilization long forgotten. "You're making a mistake," said Merchant Du-hyun, his tentacles writhing in frustration as he counted her credits. "That ship is dead. Its systems are incompatible with modern technology. Even the scrappers won't touch it." Ji-1 simply smiled, tucking the ownership certificate into her worn jacket pocket. She had spent years studying ancient spacecraft, and something about this vessel called to her. Through the grime and damage, she could see traces of engineering brilliance that surpassed even current technology. The ship's interior was dark and cold when she first entered. Her boots echoed on metal floors that hadn't felt footsteps in centuries. Emergency lights flickered weakly, powered by the small generator she had brought aboard. The air was stale but breathable thanks to the basic life support systems she had activated. As Ji-1 explored deeper into the vessel, she found signs of its former glory. The bridge, though covered in dust, featured control interfaces far more elegant than modern designs. The weapon systems, while dormant, showed evidence of power that would make current military vessels seem like toys. But it was in the engine room that she found what everyone else had missed. Behind panels of strange metal alloys and beneath layers of inactive circuits, she discovered the ship's heart, its quantum core. While others had tried to brute force their way in with modern technology, Ji-1 saw something different. The core wasn't dead. It was waiting. She spent days studying the basic patterns of energy still flowing through the ship's systems. Unlike the advanced races who had dismissed it, Ji-1 started simple. She brought in basic diagnostic tools, the kind that had served mechanics for centuries. Sometimes, she realized, the old ways were best. On the 7th day, as she was tracing power conduits near the core, something changed. A soft hum began to build, and lights she hadn't activated started to glow. Ji-1 held her breath as ancient displays flickered to life, showing scripts in a language lost to time. The ship was awakening. A loud clang echoed through the hull, making Ji-1 jump. She rushed to a nearby console as more systems began to activate. Warning alarms blared in an alien tongue, but she could feel the ship's distress. Something was wrong with the power distribution. Without hesitation, Ji-1 grabbed her tools and climbed into the maintenance shaft. While others might have waited for automated systems or AI assistance, she trusted her instincts and experience. She found the problem. A crucial power junction was overloading. Using basic engineering principles, she manually rerouted the energy flow, her hands moving with practiced confidence. The alarms fell silent. The ship's systems stabilized. And then something unexpected happened. A holographic interface materialized before her, displaying patterns she somehow understood. The ship wasn't just accepting her help, it was communicating. As Ji-1 sat in what she assumed was the captain's chair, watching the ancient vessel come alive around her, she smiled. The advanced civilizations had been wrong. This ship wasn't worthless. It had just been waiting for someone who could appreciate its true nature, someone who understood that sometimes the simplest solutions were the most powerful. She had much work ahead to restore the vessel to its former glory, but Ji-1 knew she had made the right choice. In this discarded warship, she saw not just potential, but a revolution waiting to happen. The galaxy had forgotten the power of human ingenuity combined with ancient wisdom. They would remember soon enough. Inside the ancient warship, Ji-1 spent weeks studying the AI core she had discovered. The heart of the ship, a crystalline structure larger than her living quarters, pulsed with a faint blue light. While other civilizations had tried to force their advanced technology to interface with it, she chose a different path. Ji-1 sat cross-legged on the cold metal floor, surrounded by basic testing equipment. Her approach was methodical, starting with the simplest electrical signals. She watched how the crystal responded to different frequencies, noting every tiny reaction. Where others had used quantum computers and AI translators, she used an old oscilloscope and patience. "Let's try this again," she muttered, adjusting the frequency of her signal generator. The crystal's glow brightened slightly, and patterns began forming in its depths. Ji-1 leaned forward, her heart racing. This was the strongest response yet. The ship's emergency lights flickered as energy flowed through long dormant circuits. Ji-1 held her breath as new patterns emerged in the crystal. They weren't random. They followed her input signal, but with subtle variations. The AI wasn't just receiving, it was answering. For 3 days straight, Ji-1 worked on decoding these patterns. She slept on the floor of the core room, waking whenever the crystal's glow changed. Slowly, a simple language emerged between them, patterns of light and electricity that carried meaning beyond words. On the 4th day, everything changed. The crystal pulsed with sudden intensity, and a holographic display filled the room. Instead of alien script, it showed simple geometric shapes, a basic visual language offering new ways to communicate. Ji-1 spent hours learning this new language, trading shapes and patterns with the AI. She discovered it had been watching her all along, learning from her methods just as she learned from it. The AI wasn't broken or incompatible. It had simply been waiting for someone who would listen rather than command. As their understanding grew, the AI began sharing its history. Through sequences of light and shape, it told of battles fought long ago, of a civilization that had reached heights others could barely imagine. But more importantly, it shared its name, Taiho, in the closest human approximation. Taiho showed Ji-1 how the ship's systems were meant to work together, not as separate components, but as a single living entity. The advanced races had tried to replace or bypass these systems, but Ji-1 saw the beauty in their original design. One night, as she was about to rest, Taiho did something unexpected. The holographic display showed a simple image, 2 spheres orbiting each other. Ji-1 recognized it as a basic representation of partnership, and her eyes welled with tears. The AI wasn't just a machine, it was offering friendship. They developed their own way of working together. When Ji-1 needed to repair something, Taiho would guide her with pulses of light. When Taiho needed to understand modern technology, Ji-1 would explain using their shared visual language. Their collaboration bridged centuries of technological evolution. The ship began to change. Systems that had been dead for centuries hummed to life. Rooms lit up as Taiho extended its awareness through the vessel. The hull itself seemed to heal, ancient repair systems awakening under the AI's guidance. Other mechanics and engineers visited, drawn by rumors of the ship's revival. They brought their advanced diagnostic tools and quantum interfaces, but left confused when nothing worked. They couldn't understand how Ji-1 was communicating with the ship using technology centuries behind their own. "The problem isn't the technology," Ji-1 explained to a frustrated alien engineer. "It's the approach. Taiho doesn't need fancy interfaces. It needs someone to listen." As the ship's power grew, so did their bond. Ji-1 and Taiho worked as one, each understanding the other's strengths. Together, they were creating something new, a fusion of ancient wisdom and human intuition that would soon change the galaxy forever. In the quiet hours of ship's night, Ji-1 often sat beside the crystal core, watching its peaceful glow. She had found more than just an eye or a ship. She had found a partner who understood that the greatest discoveries come not from forcing change, but from patient understanding and respect. The integration of Earth's primitive technology with the ancient ship systems began in the engine room. J1 stood before a massive power converter, her old Earth-made diagnostic tablet connected to circuits that predated human civilization. Tahoe's crystal core pulsed with curiosity as she worked. Modern ships use quantum drives, J1 explained to the AI through their shared visual language. But sometimes older technology is more reliable. She installed a modified fusion reactor, the kind Earth ships had used for centuries. Instead of replacing the ancient power systems, she connected them in parallel. "Show them what we can do," J1 said. Tahoe responded instantly. The ship's hybrid weapons came alive, ancient energy beams interweaving with magnetically accelerated projectiles. The first barrage caught the pirates completely off guard. Their modern shields, designed to block either energy or physical attacks, couldn't handle both simultaneously. G1's first volley tore through the lead ship's defenses, disabling its main drive. The pirates had never seen weapons that could switch between different attack types mid-battle. "Impossible." Some Min's voice showed the first traces of fear. His remaining ships launched a coordinated attack, filling space with a web of energy fire. But J1 and Tahoe worked as one, their hybrid ship dancing through the barrage. Earth-designed point defense systems swatted incoming missiles from space, while ancient energy shields absorbed the rest. When a lucky hit penetrated their defenses, the ship's combined armor, Earth metals bonded with ancient alloys, held firm. J1 targeted the second pirate vessel with their old-style magnetic cannons, disguising the attack as a conventional barrage. When the pirates adjusted their shields for physical impacts, she switched to energy weapons mid-shot. The resulting explosion lit up the sector like a newborn star. Some Min's flagship turned to flee, but J1 had anticipated this. A precisely calculated burst from their fusion engines put them directly in the pirates' path. Their combined weapon systems locked on, giving some Min a clear view of what he faced. "This is your only warning," J1 broadcast. "Spread the word. This ship is not prey." Through the viewport, she watched the pirate captain's vessel rotate slowly, its weapons powering down in surrender. As the pirates retreated into hyperspace, J1 sat back in her command chair, exchanging silent satisfaction with Tahoe. Their hybrid systems had exceeded all expectations. The combination of ancient technology and human innovation had proven itself in actual combat. Word of the battle spread quickly through nearby systems. The ship that everyone had dismissed as worthless scrap had defeated 3 modern warships without taking significant damage. The story grew with each retelling. How ancient weapons had danced with Earth technology. How a single vessel had outmaneuvered seasoned pirates. In the days that followed, J1 and Tahoe analyzed the battle data, refining their systems further. They discovered that their hybrid approach had advantages they hadn't even considered. The ability to switch between different technologies mid-fight made them unpredictable, impossible to counter effectively. More importantly, the battle had proved their partnership worked. Human intuition and ancient AI wisdom, combined with their unique hybrid systems, created something greater than the sum of its parts. They had turned a ship no one wanted into something the galaxy had never seen before. As they worked on repairs and improvements, J1 knew this was just the beginning. Their first test had shown the potential of their approach. Now, it was time to push those possibilities even further. The galaxy was about to learn that sometimes the most powerful force wasn't the newest technology, but the wisdom to combine the best of old and new. The Nexus Empire's invasion caught the galaxy by surprise. Their quantum phase ships tore through planetary defenses like paper, their advanced weapons turning modern warships to dust. System after system fell as their impossibly vast fleet pushed toward the galactic core. J1 watched the reports flood in from her bridge, Tahoe's crystal core pulsing with concern. The most advanced civilizations were falling, their technology proving useless against the Nexus Empire's superior forces. But where others saw hopelessness, J1 saw patterns. "They're using pure quantum technology," she explained to the gathered fleet commanders via hologram. Their systems are perfectly evolved, but that's their weakness. They have no redundancy, no backup systems. The remaining free worlds had gathered their forces for a last stand at the Centauri Divide. G1's ship, once mocked as outdated, now floated at the center of the defensive line. She had spent days studying the Nexus Empire's attack patterns, looking for flaws in their perfect systems. The enemy fleet arrived in a wave of distorted space, thousands of ships strong. Their quantum weapons began to fire, but G1 was ready. Her hybrid ship moved in ways the Nexus Empire's targeting systems couldn't predict, switching between quantum and conventional drives mid-maneuver. Now, Tai-Ho, Ji-1 commanded. Their ship launched its first attack, not with advanced weapons, but with simple electromagnetic pulses modified by ancient technology. The pulses disrupted the enemy's quantum field harmonics, creating gaps in their perfect defenses. The results exceeded all expectations. The fusion reactor's steady output, combined with the ship's original quantum systems, created a hybrid power source more efficient than either technology alone. Tai-Ho learned to balance the power flow, using each system where it worked best. Word spread through the spaceport. Engineers from advanced civilizations came to study their work, baffled by how primitive human technology could improve upon their quantum systems. J1 ignored their disbelief, focusing instead on the next integration project. The weapons systems posed a unique challenge. The ship's original energy weapons were powerful but unstable. Rather than replacing them, Ji-1 installed Earth-design magnetic accelerators alongside them. Tai-Ho found ways to combine both systems, creating weapons that could switch between energy beams and physical projectiles. In the navigation room, Ji-1 replaced burned-out quantum processors with simple Earth computers. She taught Tai-Ho to use them as backup systems, creating redundancy that made the ship more reliable. The A's ability to switch between ancient and modern systems gave them advantages no other ship possessed. Life support was next. J1 installed Earth-style hydroponics throughout the ship, creating gardens that both produced oxygen and grew food. Tai-Ho monitored these systems, learning to adjust them using both ancient environmental controls and modern sensors. The ship's hull presented another opportunity for innovation. J1 applied Earth's basic metallurgy knowledge to understand the ancient alloys. She developed a way to repair damage using a combination of modern materials and the ship's original self-repair systems. The result was armor stronger than anything in current use. As each system came online, Tai-Ho grew more adept at managing their hybrid technology. The AI learned to think like a human engineer, understanding that sometimes the simplest solution was the best. Together, they created backup systems for everything, ensuring the ship could function even if half its technology failed. The bridge became a reflection of their unique approach. Holographic displays from the original ship floated alongside sturdy Earth-made manual controls. Tai-Ho could switch between them instantly, adapting to any situation. It was beautiful in its complexity, yet simple in its execution. One day, as Ji-1 welded a new power conduit in place, she realized what they had created. This wasn't just a restored ship, it was something entirely new. The vessel could operate using ancient technology, Earth systems, or any combination of the two. No other ship in the galaxy had such flexibility. They tested each integration carefully, pushing the limits of what their hybrid systems could do. The ship could now outmaneuver modern vessels, thanks to the combination of quantum drives and fusion engines. Its weapons could adapt to any defense. The redundant systems made it nearly impossible to disable. Late at night, Ji-1 often sat in the garden sections, watching Earth plants grow under the light of ancient energy fields. Tai-Ho would join her through the ship's sensors, learning to appreciate the beauty of combining old and new. Their conversations, once limited to simple shapes and patterns, had evolved into deep discussions about the nature of progress. The integration was more than technical. It represented a new way of thinking about technology. Ji-1 and Tai-Ho had proven that progress didn't always mean abandoning the past. Sometimes, The best way forward was to embrace both old and new, finding strength in their combination. As the last systems came online, their hybrid vessel stood ready. It was a ship that defied classification, combining technologies separated by millennia. Together, they had created something unique in the galaxy, a testament to the power of human ingenuity and ancient wisdom working as one. The silence of deep space shattered as 3 pirate vessels dropped out of hyperspace around G1's ship. Their leader, Captain Sungmin, was notorious for preying on seemingly vulnerable vessels in this sector. Through the main viewport, Ji-1 watched the sleek, modern warships take up attack positions. Unidentified vessel. Sungmin's voice crackled over the comm. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded. Resist, and we'll tear your ancient hulk apart. Ji-1 smiled, exchanging silent signals with Tahoe through their neural interface. The pirates had no idea what they were facing. They saw only an old, restored ship, an easy target. Weapons charging, Tahoe communicated through pulses of light. All hybrid systems ready. The pirates struck first, their quantum cannons lighting up space with deadly energy. But Ji-1's ship moved with impossible grace, its combined ancient and earth engines giving it maneuverability that defied its size. The energy blasts hit nothing but empty space. The battle turned into chaos. While other ships fell to the Nexus Empire's weapons, Ji-1's vessel danced through their formation. Each attack combined different technologies. Magnetic accelerators followed by quantum beams, conventional missiles enhanced by ancient energy fields. The enemy couldn't adapt to weapons that kept changing their fundamental nature. Ji-1's understanding of basic engineering principles proved crucial. She knew that the more advanced a system became, the more it relied on perfect conditions. By introducing chaos into those conditions, she forced the enemy ships to deal with situations their perfect technology never anticipated. Tahoe's abilities enhanced their advantage. The AI could switch between systems faster than any human crew, combining technologies in ways that even Ji-1 hadn't planned. Together, they found weaknesses in the enemy's defenses that more advanced scanning systems had missed. The first Nexus Empire ship fell when Ji-1 targeted its quantum core with a simple mineral analysis beam, something so basic their defenses didn't even register it as a weapon. The beam, modified by ancient technology, caused a cascade failure in their perfect systems. The massive vessel imploded, creating a gap in their formation. Other ships began to copy Ji-1's tactics, using whatever outdated technology they had alongside their modern weapons. The Nexus Empire's perfect formation began to break as they faced attacks their advanced systems couldn't categorize or counter. Hours into the battle, Ji-1 discovered their greatest weakness. The Nexus Empire's ships shared a quantum field, making them stronger as a group but vulnerable to cascade failures. She and Tahoe modified their hybrid weapons to exploit this connection, turning the enemy's strength into a fatal flaw. The final strike combined everything they had learned. Ji-1's ship fired all weapons simultaneously, ancient, modern, and hybrid. The barrage overwhelmed the enemy's quantum field, creating a chain reaction that rippled through their entire fleet. Ships began to fall silent, their perfect technology unable to handle the chaos of multiple tech levels working together. As the Nexus Empire fleet retreated in disarray, Ji-1 received messages from across the galaxy. Her hybrid approach had shown them all a new way forward. The age of relying solely on advanced technology was over. True strength lay in combining the wisdom of the past with the innovations of the present. The ship that no one had wanted had become the key to saving the galaxy. Ji-1 and Tahoe's partnership had proved that sometimes the best solutions came not from pushing forward, but from remembering what was left behind. In the end, it wasn't perfect technology that had saved them, but the simple principles of engineering that had stood the test of time. Years after the defeat of the Nexus Empire, stories of Ji-1 and Tahoe's hybrid ship spread across the galaxy. Their vessel, once mocked as worthless scrap, now patrolled the space lanes as a guardian of peace. Alien children would press their faces against viewport windows, hoping to catch a glimpse of the legendary ship that combined ancient power with human ingenuity. Ji-1 had aged since those first days of restoration, silver streaking her once dark hair, but her hands remained steady at the controls. Taiho's crystal core glowed stronger than ever, their bond deepened by years of shared victories and challenges. They became known as problem solvers, called upon when modern technology failed. On the ice plains of Europa, they used Earth-design mining equipment modified by ancient energy fields to save trapped colonists. In the dust clouds of the Orion Nebula, their hybrid sensors found lost ships that the most advanced scanners couldn't detect. But their greatest impact was on how the galaxy viewed technology. Engineering academies began teaching what became known as the Ji-1 principle, the idea that true innovation comes from understanding the past as well as the future. Students learned to combine technologies from different eras, following the example of the ship that had saved them all. Other vessels tried to copy their approach, but none could match the perfect partnership between Ji-1's human intuition and Taiho's ancient wisdom. Their ship remained unique, a living example of how different technologies and cultures could work together. The alien races that had once dismissed human technology as primitive now sought Earth's engineers, recognizing that sometimes the simplest solutions were the most elegant. Ji-1 found herself teaching both humans and aliens, showing them how to look beyond the surface of advanced technology to understand the basic principles underneath. Taiho evolved as well, learning to appreciate the beauty of imperfection. The AI's originally perfect quantum processes became more fluid, more adaptive, enhanced by its understanding of human creativity. Together, they continued to discover new ways to combine their technologies, each innovation building on the last. When space pirates threatened remote colonies, Ji-1 and Taiho would appear seemingly out of nowhere, their hybrid systems allowing them to travel in ways other ships couldn't match. They became known as defenders of the forgotten, protectors of those whom more advanced civilizations overlooked. One day, as they drifted near the galactic core, Ji-1 realized just how far they had come. The ship around her hummed with a perfect harmony of ancient and modern technology working together. Through their neural link, she felt Taiho's contentment, the AI's once rigid patterns now flowing like music. Young engineers would travel vast distances to study under them, learning not just about technology, but about partnership and respect between organic and artificial life. Ji-1 taught them that every piece of technology, no matter how old or simple, had value if you understood its true nature. Their legacy spread beyond their achievements in battle or engineering. They became symbols of hope, living proof that the gap between past and future, between organic and artificial, between simple and advanced, could be bridged with understanding and patience. As they patrolled the stars, Ji-1 would often think back to that first day, standing in the docking bay beside a ship no one else wanted. She had seen potential where others saw only wreckage, value in what had been discarded. That vision, combined with Taiho's ancient wisdom, had changed the galaxy forever. Their story became legend, told in spacer bars and university halls alike. But perhaps their greatest legacy was the change in how people thought about progress. They had proved that moving forward didn't mean leaving everything behind, that sometimes the best path to the future led through the past. Together, Ji-1 and Taiho continued their journey among the stars, their hybrid ship a testament to the power of looking beyond surfaces to see the true value underneath. They had become living proof that human adaptability, combined with ancient wisdom, could bridge any gap, technological or otherwise.